My entire life, I've been told that obsession is a bad thing. But what I realized is that I spent most of my life being obsessed with the wrong things. And when I find the right things to be obsessed with, it's actually quite beautiful. When you live a purpose-driven life, you don't count the hours that you work. You don't count all the bad days. You don't think about that. Your vision and your why fuels you so much that it doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times you have to get back up. Yeah, why not just do it? It's like, who cares if people think? We only have one life. I can't sit here and be like worried about what people are going to think about me, or worried if it's going to work, or worried if I'm going to fail. Because if I sit here and worry about that, then I'm never actually going to do it, and then I'm really going to fail, because to me, failing is just never trying it.
I read somewhere, I think it was like someone said something where they said that in the Bible, love, like the word love is defined as suffering. And then like I was like, oh, and I kind of think about it, I'm like, you know what? And in everything that you love, you kind of have to suffer, especially in fighting. There's gotta be some type of suffering in order for it to feel great and be a crazy accomplishment or whatever at the end goal.
Gosh,
but yeah. So I think it's all in the same shit. You gotta suffer. Even in everyday life, you suffer. You know, you don't want to go to work, you gotta go to work. You don't want to do this, you gotta do that. But at the end of the day, is it worth the goal, whatever goal that is that you have in your head? And if it is, then I think you're ready to rock.
Absolutely. Yeah, love is suffering. You know what? That is so true, because it's like when you really love something and like you want to go like all in on something, like obsessed, like you do kind of have to suffer, but you kind of enjoy it at the same time a little bit, like, because it makes it so much more rewarding when you like see like the finished product, or you see like the results, you see like down the road your progress, and then you're like, oh, now I remember why I do this.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I really don't care about everyone else's opinion of me and what I'm doing. I'm so focused on my mission right now and what I want to achieve, and I'm not going to hold back anymore. Welcome to the brilliant, resilient experience, my friends. I mean, really not much has changed, to be honest. I just changed the name of the podcast, but I'm a little extra, so, I wanted to make it a whole thing. I've been thinking about changing the name of the podcast for a while, and not just changing the name, but kind of changing just a little bit of the direction that I want to go with it. Because when I started it, I just didn't know, I just had to start somewhere. I needed a creative outlet, and I wanted to just talk about things and share, some of my experiences with my health, with my, gym routine, talk about music, talk about MMA, and that's how the MMA podcast came to be. So, it's all these things have evolved, and it's something that I've really enjoyed doing. It's almost like therapy for me, honestly, doing the podcast and just talking about my life and talking about things that I'm passionate about, really. And then also, like, when I started having the guest episodes on, I think that's really what helped this thing evolve, because it just kind of took it in a different direction. And the last couple guests I've had on have been fighters. So a lot of people are probably thinking this is like an MMA podcast. So I just wanted to make it clear what this is, and I didn't want to limit myself to just fitness or limit myself to just MMA, which is why I created my whole MMA podcast separately from this, because I wanted that to be like its own thing. And then obviously I'm going to have fighters on, which I probably will have a lot of fighters on this one, but the focus of it is not just MMA. It's not just fitness. It's not whatever. The focus of this is I want to talk to people who are doing, like, they're overcoming odds, or they're doing something that maybe, they had to fail a little bit to start to see some success in, or maybe they are failing right now. They don't have to be even successful. Just people who are chasing a dream, I think, is really what I want the theme to be a little bit, or people who have done something or are trying to do something that a lot of people would look at and say, oh, you know, that's crazy, or that's impossible, or whatever people say, you know, they're out there. So I just want, to me, I want this to be a podcast for people who are maybe a little bit crazy like me, and they have things they want to achieve or things that they want to do that maybe other people don't quite understand. So that way we can all kind of have a place, you know, to be crazy together, I guess you could say. Because I love it. I love having people. You have to have people around you that are like that. And if you don't, then, you know, you can listen to podcasts. And that's what I did for a long time. I couldn't really find a lot of people who were really like me, like when they really got to know me. Like I had a lot of friends, and I still do, but it's not like I'm really close with anyone. But podcasts gave me a sense of connection because, you know, I'd listen to like Theo Vaughn, or I would listen to Joe Rogan. I'd listen to David Goggins. I'd listen to all these people, and I felt like there were people out there who understood me maybe more than a lot of the people that I'm around, you know, more on a regular basis. I know a lot of people that right now they're kind of going through like an identity crisis, or maybe they changed their career entirely. Like that's what I just did. I was in a career for 5 years, and then I was like, oh, I'm, you know, deciding I want to do something different. People a lot of times don't understand why you're doing what you're doing if they don't see the immediate result. And then they start to instill doubt into your mind. And I think that's really dangerous. And this is why I'm very careful, like who I'm around on a regular basis. Like I don't hang out with like a bunch of different people all the time. Like I'm really close with a small group of people. Like as I've gotten older, my circle has definitely gotten smaller. But it's really dangerous sometimes, the people that you let into your life and the things that they normalize and the things that they maybe discourage, that, you know, people who have given up on their dreams are going to try to get you to give up on yours. Let's just be honest. So you have to be careful with getting those kind of people in your life. And if they are in your life, you could also have a conversation with them and kind of explain to them what you're trying to do, and who knows, maybe they'll come around. I mean, there have been people in my life that have come around, not 100%, but they're making a ton of progress with being more supportive and encouraging me and not, you know, instilling that doubt in my mind. I don't know why I still have these headphones on. Hold on. I forgot to take the headphones off. Whatever. I wanted to do this podcast because I wanted to help people. I wanted to share other people's stories. I want to share my stories. I want to support people who are doing really cool things, like Sam Primo, I've had on twice. He just did his first bodybuilding competition and won gold. He's in a wheelchair. Like, how freaking cool is that? Like, those are the kind of people, like, I want to hype them up, you know? And I want to hype myself up too a little bit, you know? But mostly, like, I just want this to really be a source of inspiration, motivation. Yeah, like that's what I want this to be. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So I've had, you know, people ask me if they want to come on. So if you do want to come on, we don't have to talk about any certain topic. We don't have to talk about MMA. We don't have to talk about fitness. We don't have to talk about whatever. This is just, yeah, I mean, it's just sharing, having conversations, sharing stories, whatever. Talking about common interests. If you are an MMA fan, well then, yeah, let's talk about MMA. But if you're not, that's okay too. I don't expect everybody to be an MMA fan. But I think MMA is going to be a big part of it, just because that mentality is so strong in MMA, like with fighters, especially like fighters that are like on the elite level. They just have this self-belief that is just insane. Like Sean O'Malley, like Did you guys see that? He was a huge underdog going into that fight against Aljamain Sterling. And he freaking won. He got a second round TKO. Everybody doubted him. Everybody said he was going to get choked out in the first round and all this stuff. And even he was talking to his coach and they were like, yeah, we understand this is a dangerous fight, you know? But he was like, but my confidence is just, it's like it's on a different level. He's like, I know I'm going to beat this guy. And yeah, just stuff like that really gets me fired up. It really does. So I want to talk about stuff like that. I want to talk to fighters who have that kind of a mindset. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for moving forward with kind of a new theme a little bit. I mean, it's kind of still what I was trying to do before, but it's now, I feel like I've honed in on it a little bit more. Like I know exactly what I want it to look like. But as far as like the conversations go, like a lot of times I'm just like, yeah, let's just talk like human beings, like, you know, because I enjoy just having conversations with people. And that's why I started this podcast, because I love talking to people. I love talking by myself too. You know, every once in a while I'm going to do one of these episodes. And that's something that, you know, I've kind of been influenced by Theo Von with, because I really liked his guest episodes. But every once in a while, I really loved his solo episodes where he would just kind of be a little bit more introspective, I guess you could say. And just like, yeah, like reflecting on his experiences and his life. And some of those episodes were like the best episodes. So that was something that I was kind of influenced by Theo Von with, is just kind of sprinkling in those guest episodes, or those, sprinkling in those solo episodes and not just doing guest episodes, because I think it is enjoyable for me to do both. So I'm going to continue doing both. I am going to have probably more guests on than I used to, which you probably already noticed. I've been ramping that up. And, you know, that's just something that takes time. You know, I'm not the type of person I'm going to go DM 500 people and ask if they want to be on my podcast. Like, that's just not me. Like if there's somebody that I talk to, or I've talked to before and I think they'd be, you know, great to have on, then I'll invite them on, but I'm never gonna like, you know, beg somebody to come on here. Like, no, like if you want to come on my podcast, that's cool. But if you don't, like, don't. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm really excited to see like how things just continue to evolve and like the different guests that I'm going to have on, and I don't know. But anyways, now that I've kind of established what I want to do, and you know, I'll still do a lot of the things that I did before. I think I'm just going to add more to it, you know. So it'll be fun. Oh, I finally finished the Zach Bryan episode of Joe Rogan. It was fantastic, actually. I love Zach Bryan. I'm so fascinated by his whole story. Of just like how he like got famous. Like he didn't even mean to. He just like got famous. It's crazy. Just writing songs, recording them, and posting them on Twitter. And then out of nowhere. That's wild. That is wild. I'm trying to think what podcasts I've been listening to lately. I mean, obviously I listen to Rogan. And I don't know. And Theo Von. Rogan and Theo Von lately is pretty much all I've been listening to. I really want to like make more time to listen to like Andrew Huberman's podcast. Like I used to listen to his podcast all the time. And I would learn so much from it. Like I would learn so much about like science and neuroscience and how your brain works and dopamine and whatever. And a lot of it was like way over my head, but it's still fun to learn about it because like I never paid attention in school in like science, chemistry class and stuff. Like I didn't know what was going on. So yeah. Oh, I got an email that Allstate Insurance wants to hire me. No thanks. No thank you. I mean, yeah, I have no desire to really. Like, I wouldn't mind going back to like training people on insurance, and like when I used to work at the district office, like that was a fun job. I was a agency business consultant, whatever you want to call it. I enjoyed that, but like I don't want to like own an agency or like sell insurance right now because it's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess. I don't know. Just because I have so much other stuff going on, like I wouldn't be able to dedicate the mental energy to it that I should, I feel like. Because in a difficult market, you got to be really focused. And right now I am focused on other things. So yeah, and that's something that I've learned too with like careers. Like sometimes it's actually like, depending on what you're wanting to do with your life, like if your career, the industry you're in or whatever is your long-term career goal, okay, well then it makes sense to devote more of your time to it, and like try to move up and all that stuff. But if you're pursuing a career in something, or if you're in school, you're studying something, whatever, and you're doing it like in your free time, then you probably want to maybe consider taking a little bit of a pay cut in order to have a less demanding job, or find something like you can work from home, so you have more flexibility, stuff like that, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. I would love to get to the point where I can just work from home. That would be fantastic. But we'll see. We'll see if I get to that point. I don't know. I would love to work from home. I miss it. I miss it so much. I told you guys, I don't have as much of a filter anymore, so like, yeah, I'm just gonna like talk about my life and what's going on. Yeah, it'd be cool to work from home. Anyways, I just really miss working from home because I felt like I had like more time in my day to like dedicate to like my wellness routine, like my ice bath, like getting up, doing the ice bath. And I still do them, but it's like I feel like I'm in such a rush. Like I have to get up so early. It takes me 40 minutes to get to the office and then 40 minutes home without traffic. So if there's traffic, then it's like an hour. And I'm like, I just want to have time. And yeah, it's just like I definitely took it for granted, that's for sure. So now I'm like, I feel like I will appreciate it more when I get to work from home again, because right now I'm like, oh, this sucks. But anyways, yeah. But I don't know, I've just been thinking about a lot of different things in life lately and been reflecting on a lot of things, and I don't know, one thing that I've realized, and I feel like I keep realizing this over and over again. And like I don't know, I feel like I have this realization and then I'm like very conscious of it for a while, and then I just kind of forget about it, and then I'm like reminded of it, but really the concept is just like the people around you impact you so much more than you think. Like it's wild. It's wild. And that's why I think it's so important to surround yourself with people who, they don't necessarily have to be doing the same thing that you're doing, but people who are either supportive of it or they're also, they're living with a purpose. And I hate to say this, but there's just a lot of people out there that aren't living with a purpose right now. They're just kind of going through life. They focus on the short term more than the long term, a lot of people. And I used to be one of those people. I didn't really think long term. And now I really do. And I think it's important, because if all you think about is short term, then, that's when you start to like, it'll catch up to you later, like, if you never save money for retirement or whatever, like that'll catch up to you later because you were thinking about the short term. And that's something I need to get better about too, is like saving more money. And then like another thing would be, I I don't know, maybe you don't eat the healthiest. Maybe you eat fast food a little bit too much, or maybe whatever. And I've talked about that before, obviously, with, having this like originally being a fitness podcast. I've talked about fitness and nutrition a lot, but it's a big thing. And a lot of people don't think about the long term. And even a lot of people that do work out, like, they're like, oh, I only work out because I want to look good. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. That's why a lot of people start working out, because they want to look a certain way. I don't think that's a good motivation, because I think that's just too short term. And I think that it also like sometimes can be a bad thing. Like some people overtrain, or they don't do cardio, or they don't do it in a way that is positively impacting their health. They're just doing it for, to look a certain way. So that's what I mean by like short term, like being so concerned about the short term that you're actually in turn neglecting the long term, which is not what you want to do. I don't know. I just know a lot of people are not thinking long term right now, and I don't know how to explain to people how important it is to think about long term. Not even just your longevity, not just your health, but also just like your life. Like, I don't know. People just, I think maybe sometimes people, they just don't know what they really want, and they don't know how to sit there and figure it out. That could be the case for a lot of people. It's just not having the patience, or not making the effort to really sit down and think, okay, what do I want my life to look like? They just see somebody else's life and they're like, I want that, And that's another reason why I think it's so important to be cognizant of who you're spending your time with and who you're interacting with on a daily basis, because people can convince you to want things that you don't actually want. They'll convince you to want a certain amount of money. They'll convince you to want a certain type of car. They'll convince you to want to buy a house, even if that's not the best thing for you. Or they'll convince you to move to a certain state, even though you would probably enjoy, a different state a lot better. Like all these different things that people convince you of. And it's really just them projecting, their needs, wants, desires onto you, which a lot of people forget that, not everybody's the same. Not everybody has the same goals. And that's something that I think we all need to be more aware of. When we're giving people advice, is think, oh, well, maybe this person doesn't want the same life I do, so yeah, but I think it's important to figure that out. I think it's important to figure out what you actually really want your life to look like. Like, I know it's cheesy, but I make vision boards every year. I'm that weirdo that makes vision boards. Yeah, whatever. Call me a hippie. I don't care. It works. Manifestation is real, guys. Like, it works. Now, you can't just put a picture of a Lamborghini on a vision board and then it's going to appear in 2 weeks. Like, that's not how it works. You have to still do the things that are required to get to that point. So, if you're not willing to do what is required to achieve that goal or to get that Lamborghini, then don't put that on your vision board, because you're never going to get it if you're not willing to actually take the action. So that's the problem that a lot of people, I feel like, they have. And really, if all a vision board is, it's not a magical crystal ball thing. It's not a magical thing. It's literally just you visualizing your future, so that way it's clearer to you. I think that's really all it is. And then you're able to see it, so you're able to, it makes your why a little bit stronger. Like, your motivation is stronger because you're like, oh, well, this is the life I'm picturing for myself, and this is what I want, so I have to do this. I have to get up early and go to the gym. I have to, eat healthy. I have to do all these things if I want my life to look like that. So, but you do have to be willing to put in the work. You have to have the vision first, but then you have to be willing to put in the work and maybe get out of your comfort zone and do things you don't really want to do in order to do what you really want to do. Sometimes you got to do things that are uncomfortable, things that you don't want to do, things that are difficult in order to have the life that you want. You also have to know, you have to manage your time too. Like I know people, and I've been this person where you just like say yes to everything. It's like, no, you cannot do that. If you have really big goals that you're trying to achieve and you are in a position where, you don't have a ton of free time, and the free time that you have, you need to spend working towards your goals, then you have to learn how to say no to things. It's hard. It's really hard. Your friends text you, oh, hey, we're going to this place at 7 on Friday. You want to come? And it's like, I do, but if I want to get everything done on time, then I should probably just stay home and spend a couple hours on my computer and get things done. Or I should probably stay home and do my laundry so that way I can get to bed at a decent time. Whatever it is. When you are very limited on time, it's just you're gonna have to say no to things. You just are. And so you have to know which things to say no to and which things to say yes to, because there are certain things that you shouldn't say no to, things that are really important to people close to you. But then you also sometimes have to have conversations with people about like, hey, just so you know, I'm really busy right now. I've got a lot going on. This is temporary. That's not going to be like this forever, but for, a few months or whatever it is, I'm just going to be really busy. So if there's something really, really important that you need me for, let me know. I'll try to make it work. But otherwise, if it's not something that's super important, I'm probably going to have to skip it. If it's like you guys are going to watch the Cardinals game. Okay. I can go to a Cardinals game, like there's things you can do whenever. It's not like you have to do them every single week or every single month or whatever. So, my gosh, my nose is so itchy. I don't know what is going on. This is ridiculous. My nose is so itchy. Anyways, my point is just, don't say yes to everything if you are trying to achieve a lot in your life. And people will understand. Like, as long as you're not skipping, your grandma's 80th birthday, like, that's probably important. Like, you should probably go to that. But, there's things people invite me to. I'm like, do you really think this is worth my time? I'm busy. I'm busy. So, no, I don't want to go to a freaking trivia night. I'm sorry. Why does everybody have so many trivia nights? It's insane. I swear, every time I look on Facebook, somebody's inviting me to a trivia night. I'm like, what? Why are you guys sitting around doing trivia all the time? Do something else. I don't know. I told you guys I wasn't going to have a filter on this podcast, okay? So I'm going to make fun of things, and I'm going to give my hot takes. And I'm going to get on social media right now and see if there's any hot takes I want to give right at this moment. Oh my gosh. I don't know. My entire timeline is pretty much just MMA. Oh my gosh, Bob Barker died. No way. Bob Barker. What a legend. The Price is Right. 99 years old. Wow. That's a long life. 1923. Well, that's sad. Okay, hopefully something more positive comes up on my timeline. Oh my god. I still haven't seen the Barbie movie. I was thinking about going to see it tonight, but I don't feel like going, so I'm not gonna go. But I was thinking about doing that. I don't know. Every time I like think about doing something, I always just like at the end of the day just want to stay home. I don't know. I mean, I do want to go out sometimes, but it just depends on my mood. Like, I don't know. I wish I was more social these days, but I'm just really not. I'm really not. I am like such, I don't know. I like being around people, but I don't like being around people all the time. And I like, I like to go out and get dinner or like, do something fun, but not all the time. I don't know, my social battery, like, used to be like the Energizer Bunny. And it depends on who I'm around. If I'm around other like creative people, or people that are like into like podcasts and stuff and like MMA, like I can hang out with those people all day. But so I guess it depends. Like if I'm around like a large group of people, usually that's when I kind of get like overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on in the world. I never look at the news, but I'm going to look at it and see if it makes me depressed immediately, which it probably will. Oh yeah, Trump got arrested. It's hilarious. Yeah, it says former President Donald Trump was arrested at the Fulton County Jail on felony charges in connection with efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in Georgia. Fulton County Jail has a history of violence and poor conditions. Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't this like a well-known prison? Fulton County Prison. Sorry guys, I'm not a history expert, but I have heard about this. The former president was booked at the Georgia facility on charges that he attempted to overturn 2020 election results in Georgia, the fourth criminal case he faces while campaigning to be president again next year. And his supporters love this, by the way. They love it. This is only helping him. And I'm not a Trump supporter necessarily. I'm not really a supporter of Biden either, though, to be honest. Like, I don't really like either of them. But I'm just here for the entertainment, okay? So it says Trump's lawyers reached an agreement Monday for him to be released from Fulton County Jail pending trial after posting 10% of a $200,000 bond. Local authorities said the 45th president would be treated like any of the other 18 defendants. Yeah, right. In the indictment that alleges racketeering by a criminal organization that tried to overturn election results. This is crazy, guys. I love this. This isn't just insane. Like, what is happening in our universe? It's just crazy. I also just, like, never know what to believe anymore, because it's like, we don't have any proof of any of this. Like, this is just the news telling us what's going on. Like, for all we know, it could all just be, like, a joke. Or, like, a whole, like, act. Like, a publicity thing. Who knows? I did think that this was gonna... Like, I had a feeling that eventually Trump was gonna get arrested, though. Like... it's just funny. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to negatively... The only way it would negatively affect him is if he can't run for president because he's in prison. But if he gets out, which he probably will, then he's still going to be able to run, and he's probably going to get even more votes than he did before. Because people love, like when Andrew Tate went to prison, like, everybody became an even bigger fan of his. Like, it's kind of similar to that. And I'm not a fan of Andrew Tate either. I've said that before. I think he's a turd, but I don't know. It's like, do you guys really expect me to like that guy? That guy is everything I don't like. And like, if I met that guy at a bar, I'd be like, gross. Like, you know, like, be like, who is this guy? But yeah. Anyways, Oh, this is where Gucci Mane went to jail. for striking an army staff sergeant with a bottle at a nightclub. I forgot about that. See, I know about Gucci Mane. I don't know what's going on with our president, but I know about Gucci Mane. I know about the important stuff, guys. No, I'm just joking. This is wild. I love the thing he posted on Twitter, his mugshot. That is just absolute. There's, like, guys, this is wild to me. This is absolutely insane. Oh my God. Bill Gates, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Tiger Woods, and Lindsay Lohan. Have they been to Fulton County? Or just they've been arrested? I don't know. Well, I guess Trump's going to have fun in Fulton County. I don't know anything about politics, guys, by the way. I mean, I try not to get too concerned about things I can't control because I already, like, it just stresses me out. Like, I've said this before. Politics just stress me out. But I do like to read these stories and laugh about it. It's just, I mean, that's really all you can do. It's like, it is such a mess right now. The economy is such a mess, and like just everything is just chaos. So it's like really all you can do is just laugh about it. I mean, might as well. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know. But who cares? I mean, there's only so much we can do about what's going on with politics and politicians, and it's like, God, what a circus. But anyways, I heard that Mike Perry and Darren Till are supposed to fight in boxing. Let me see if this is actually true before I spread fake news. Darren Till versus Mike Perry. Oh, here we go. Darren Till agrees to box Mike Perry at Misfits card on October 14th. I think this is the card. Yeah, this is the card with Logan Paul. Is Darren Till really going to do this? I don't know what to think. He said on Twitter, I say yes, let's go. Or I'm sorry, he said on X. I don't like calling it X. That sounds stupid. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't care. I guess Darren Till is going to box Mike Perry on the main card or main event. And Logan Paul is supposed to box Dylan Dennis. And then who else is on that card? Because originally Mike Perry was the backup for Dylan Dennis. Because they're like assuming Dylan Dennis is going to back out. Which wouldn't surprise me. Honestly. Oh, KSI versus Tommy Fury is on that card. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I am gonna cover that. So that'll be interesting. That will be interesting, but yeah, that's coming up in October, so we shall see. I'm just curious to see who fights each other. Like, who knows? It could end up being Mike Perry versus Logan Paul. Who knows? Yeah, if Logan Paul has to box Mike Perry, that is not gonna be good for him. Mike Perry will absolutely demolish Logan Paul if they box. Like, demolish. So, yeah, hopefully Dylan Dennis shows up for Logan's sake. Yeah, so we'll see. But that'll be fun. I am going to wrap up now. This was a fun little chill, laid back solo episode. I'm going to do these once in a while. I'm going to try to get some more guests on soon. So we'll see who's next, who's going to be on here next. I do have a few people in the works, so we'll see. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get going. It's Saturday. I'm ready to kind of just relax and enjoy my evening. So yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening, watching, however you consume this. I hope that my stories and my hot takes, whatever you want to call it, are entertaining. And also hopefully that I can kind of give you some perspective and some inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, thank you guys. And I'm excited for the new direction that everything's going. I'm excited to keep doing this. I really appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate everyone who has helped me, who has, been a guest on my podcast, who has given me advice, who has just been supportive in general. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited to see where this goes. So yeah, lots of exciting things in the works. But I will see you guys again next week. Thanks again. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. So that way, yeah, we can grow this thing. Let's grow this thing, please. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.